So it's the morning of Rosh Hashanah. Rebecca goes into her son's bedroom to wake him up, to get ready to go to synagogue, and he replies, "I'm not going." And I'll give you two reasons. I really don't like them, and they really don't like me. Why do I have to go? And Rebecca thinks for a moment and in an exasperated tone says, "Well, I'll give you two good reasons, son. One, you're 57 years old. And number two, you're the rabbi." Rosh Hashanah is the anniversary of the creation of the world. It is also Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, the time that God and each of us are to examine our lives. I want to share with you 7 gifts that I believe we can learn from these high holidays that just may be life-affecting. The first one, do not take life for granted. The very first words a Jew says in the morning, "I am grateful to you, God, for compassionately returning to me my soul." Every day a Jew is reminded not to take life for granted. We all know that not everyone who was with us just 1 year ago is with us today. Sometimes in life you get a wake-up call. Often it's a health scare, something where you confront mortality. Most of us will not have such a call. In fact, I hope you don't. I have lived not waiting for something to happen to appreciate life. Judaism gives us an annual wake-up call. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur arrive precisely to remind us to contemplate that life is not forever, and for each of us to ask, am I living the life that I want to live? We all know intellectually that our time on this earth is limited, yet we often act as if it's unlimited. If you don't take life for granted, you will live a richer and fuller life. The second gift is the importance of expressing gratitude. It's vital that we're grateful and teach our children and our grandchildren to be grateful. And the operative word here is to teach. It's not enough to feel grateful. Whether you are grateful for the people in your life, your freedom, your country, your health, your liberty, your Judaism, I hope it's a very long list. Genuine gratitude must be expressed. Just as we say out loud, "Al chet shachatanu lefanecha," for the sins which we committed by X, Y, and Z, so too should we verbally express our gratitude. When we do that, and we teach our children and our grandchildren to be grateful, it is one of the blessings in our and their lives. Which leads me to the third life-altering teaching from these high holidays. Make a choice to be happy. It is a Jewish tenet that God gives human beings free choice. That's why we're all held accountable for our sins. Well, here's a choice that few people realize is in their hands, but it is. Choose to be happy. Happiness begins with gratitude. If we don't appreciate what we have, by definition, we'll be unhappy. And by the way, one key to happiness, focus on what you do have, not on what you don't have. Yes, there are times in life when things happen to give us genuine reasons to be unhappy, but most days, for most of us, it's up to us to choose. Don't think of yourself as a victim. Victimhood is a dangerous drug. Victims believe that the world or society owes them, and I have yet in my life to meet a happy victim. I learned this from Holocaust survivors. Many had their families decimated. They spent years in concentration camps under unimaginable circumstances. But of the survivors, at least that I have known in my experience, I have not yet ever heard one say to me that they are a victim, even though they were truly victims of evil. Rather, most say or write in their memoirs that they are grateful to have survived and they live their lives with gratitude and joy. They chose not to see themselves as victims. There are many people who have had very difficult lives and yet are very happy. And some of the least happy people that I know have had easier lives. I'll bet you can think of such people as well. Happiness is not necessarily related to life's experiences. Choose to be happy. You will have a better life, and you will make the lives of those around you better as well. Which leads me to the fourth gift of these Yamim Noraim, these days of awe. Tell your loved ones that you love them. In our prayer book, you'll notice that there is a prayer that begins, "Great is your love for us." God is telling the Jewish people how much love God has for us. And then it's a mitzvah for us to proclaim our love for God. Ve'ahavta, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and might. And so too with the people that we love. Tell them you love them, not in a cursory way. Tell them you love them and tell them why you love them and tell them why they mean so much to you. Most of us don't do that enough. If you love someone deeply, let them know. If you want to have a sense of how much that will mean to them, imagine how much it would mean to you to hear such words. The fifth life-affecting gift, potentially, of these high holidays, be inspired to be a better Jew. Virtually the last words on the very last page of our Machzor is the Shema. Before we leave here, at the close of Ne'ilah next week, we will say the Shema and reaffirm our commitment to God and Judaism. Each of us should ask the following question: did I grow as a Jew in this last year? And where do I want to be as a Jew a year from now? This year, the forces of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel reared their ugly heads once again. There are those that hate us and want to destroy us, and we appropriately rail against them. I'm sure there will be a number of high holiday sermons around the country appropriately speaking about this. And while anti-Semites wish to destroy us from the outside, Jewish apathy may well be destroying us from the inside. And this is rarely addressed. There are millions of Jews in the United States alone for whom Judaism is largely absent from their lives, and our hearts should break for that. Anatoly Sharansky was a household name in the 1970s. He was arrested for teaching Hebrew in the Soviet Union. They trumped up the charge of treason against him. He spent 9 years in Lefortovo prison in a Soviet gulag in Siberia. Read his book, Fear No Evil, or watch the video of him at a dialogue here in our congregation. He later made Aliyah, changed his name to Natan Sharansky, became a major figure in Israel. It's an extraordinary story. The point is, he willingly risked his life to teach Hebrew. We don't have to risk our lives or our freedom to study anything Jewish. We should fight anti-Semitism from every angle. And here's another way to defeat them: Study Torah, live Torah, take Judaism seriously, love and support Israel, celebrate and live everything that they wish to destroy. I'd like to take a very brief poll, both here and for those of you watching, participating with us from your homes. And please keep your hands up. Whether you're in person or at home, please raise your hands if your grandparents or grandparents came to this country from another country that persecuted Jews. Raise your hands. Please keep your hands up. And if you came from a country that persecuted Jews, put your hands up, please. Everyone keep their hands up. I'll bet you 75%, thank you, of the people in this room have their hands up, and it's true at home as well. Here's the good news. We're here. We're here in a country that allows us to openly express our Judaism. What are we doing with this opportunity? The one that we hoped for, the one that we left homes for and countries for, and what are our college and college-age children and grandchildren doing with it? 1 out of 4 Jews belong to a synagogue on the west coast of the United States. And of that 25%, a very small fraction is involved. And a recent Pew study reported 12% of Jews in America attend a synagogue weekly. And we all know they are disproportionately Orthodox. And of course, synagogue attendance is not the only barometer of Jewish commitment, but it's an important one, and it's indicative. I know that many of you are proud to be Jewish. It's fantastic. But it's my role as a rabbi to say it's not enough to feel pride. Judaism is not a feeling. It is a way of life. Grow as a Jew this year. If you don't water your yard, the flowers will wither away. If you don't water your Jewish soul, it would wither as well. And here's the great news. When that Jewish soul is touched, when that fire is lit, many Jews discover a Judaism that brings depth and joy that they never would have imagined. So let's all be better and deeper Jews in the coming year. Which leads to the 6th gift of these high holidays. Ask forgiveness and be forgiving. Take a moment between now and Yom Kippur to think about those whom you have wronged this last year and try to make amends and arrange a time to apologize and ask their forgiveness. It could be a family member, a coworker, a friend. It is not easy. But a sincere apology will likely gain the respect of the person you have wronged. If someone wronged you, tried to make good on it, then came to you with a heartfelt apology, would you not have greater respect for that person? This is the perfect time. And one other thought. There are times when you may want to forgive someone for hurting you or wronging you, even if they don't ask your forgiveness. It's often a parent or a sibling, it could be anyone. But if you believe it is in your best interest to forgive that person because it will allow you to move on with your life, then in your mind, forgive them. And if they are no longer living, then during the Yizkor service, during the time of silent prayer, for your loved ones, forgive them. Forgive them for not being a better parent or a better sibling. Forgive them, not for your sake, not for their sake, but for yours. And the final gift of these high holidays, your best days may lie ahead. A few Sunday nights ago, Pastor Joel Osteen gave a sermon. Now, you know what I do on Sunday nights when I'm at home, flipping through the channel. He spoke about hidden treasures. He said, you have what you need. It's just that it is often buried on the inside. It's a hidden treasure. You have gifts and talents that you have not tapped into. There is a potential that is waiting to be released. What he is saying is it's not what you have in you that matters, it's what you get out. To get to your highest potential, you need to tap those hidden treasures. Some of the countries with the greatest natural resources are sadly among the poorest. The resources are there, but they have yet to draw them out. Many of you have such hidden treasures. You may not even know it, but you can write. You can comfort the sick. You may have great business acumen to share with others. Some of you can teach others how to be a better parent or how to be a better spouse. I'll bet some of you have already been teaching your spouse how to be a better spouse. You may have the ability to learn a musical instrument or discover a passion for important causes. Don't leave this world without tapping into your treasure. And when you do, you'll renew your enthusiasm for the future. A friend of mine very thoughtfully observed, every car has a rear view mirror. So you can look back. And we do that on the Yamim Noraim, the high holidays. But that mirror is small. The windshield in front of you is large. Look ahead. Your very best days may be in front of you. We come together on these high holidays for different reasons. Some out of obligation. By the way, that's a good reason. Some look forward to prayer. All of these are good reasons. The sermons, the music, a combination of them all. Yet I believe that one hope we all share is that our experience on the high holidays will make us thoughtful and indeed deeper and better people in the coming year. So please, consider these 7 gifts. This year, don't take life for granted. Express gratitude. Choose to be happy. Tell your loved ones how much you love them. Become a more serious, deeper Jew. Ask forgiveness and give forgiveness, and realize that your very best days may indeed be ahead of you. I humbly believe these can be life-altering. May God bless you. May God bless your family, your loved ones, our people, our country, and our world with a year filled with blessings beyond measure. On this new year, that is my hope, and that is my prayer. Amen.